going on, guys? I finally get to go fishing. It's been a while because of the baby, because of a couple other things, but ironically my summer break is coming to an end, and therefore my free time to fish is coming to an end. Let me try this for you guys. I have something out. I'm gonna try this. This should sound a little better. Oh, there we go. But yeah, so I'm going fishing, and I'm going fishing for trout. Or specifically, I'm going fly fishing for trout. Now, I think that it'd be really interesting to try a few new techniques. And if there are any techniques that you guys are aware of that you haven't seen me do on this channel, let me know. Now, obviously, it is late August. The midst of dry fly season has kind of come and gone. However, there are still terrestrials out, and there are still some larger flies out as well that could make things interesting. So I brought two rods with me. I brought myself a 3-weight bamboo rod. It is a 7/6 bamboo. And I also brought myself a 10.5 foot 3-weight, obviously graphite, for some nymphing. And I am going to attempt today to just catch numbers and also try some new techniques. So typically what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this today as well, is on my nymphing rod, I'm going to rig up a 3-nymph system, tight line nymphing system. However, this is a very small creek, so I'm not going to have to, utilize any type of indicator or anything. I'm going to, or like cider. So my leader is going to be very simple. My leader is going to be just about 3.5 to 4 foot of probably 3x to my first knot, which is a tag end, which is a fly, because the wind isn't that bad today, I don't believe. Then it's going to be about another 8 to 9 inches. I'm not going to tell you that East Coast because it is actually my family's private property. We have a very, very healthy population of wild browns, and that's the only thing in the creek. And so, yeah, it's not that I want to keep everything a secret, buddy. It's just that there's no point in me disclosing it because it's literally on my wife's grandparents' property. So, I mean, if you wanted to dig that up enough, or you wanted to come fish with me, I could take you out. But you won't find it on a map. It's not big enough creek to find on a map. Nor is it on Google Earth. I've checked. But so there was a 3.5 to 4 foot of 3x to my first, probably going to be a midge, a colorful, like maybe Rainbow Warrior midge pattern. Then about another 8 to 9 inches to another, probably either double surgeons or tag-ended or tag line blood knot with some form of hare's ear, probably like a depth-charged hare's ear, because this water's pretty quick. And then my point fly is going to be mainlined right into a large depth-charged hare's ear. I'm sorry, not hare's ear. I mean, technically it is a hare's ear. It's a goose-bite hare's ear, but it's a stone representation. And that's my searching pattern for this creek, and it works extremely well. Typically, I mean, I'll go. It's hard to go on a good, water appropriate day. Sorry for the jiggling. The city I live in isn't very adept at keeping the roads up. But typically, I mean, like on this creek, this setup with eager, wild fish, it's they gobble this up. Unless there's something wrong with the water, unless there's something. I haven't been to this creek in forever, so who's to say that the water's even the same in the same spot? Sometimes if we get bad enough rains, the current completely changes and goes to a different spot. So for those of you who live in the South, I apologize. I'm drinking Tim Hortons, and I know if you haven't heard of it, then that's unfortunate, but if you have, then you're jealous. Please, guys, everybody who's watching, please give this video a thumbs up. That'd be great. And then for my dry fly setup, that's going to be dependent, but I'm assuming I have a bunch of really good Latort cricket. It's a really great pattern, Latort cricket pattern, because around my house I've had hundreds of thousands, if not millions of black little crickets all over the place. And because I'm not going that far, what's going on, Adam? And if it's the same where I'm going, I'm just gonna throw one of those on. I might even do a double dry rig, one of those, and either a Griffith's gnat or some form of foam beetle or ant. Actually, I might do an ant. Sounds appropriate, but I'll go a little larger. You know, like sometimes a little larger of an ant pattern can be representative or imitative of an ant, obviously, or it can be a beetle, a bee, a black fly, horse fly, whatever, or even sometimes beetles, you know, or hoppers, you know. So I'm gonna probably go with a smaller Latort cricket, and then that's gonna be on a fairly short leader. My leader on this creek is no longer than 6 foot usually, because the actual creek itself is no wider than, I think its widest point is 6 foot, but it's all like the shallowest it gets. There's one riffle. For a new fly angler, bro, this whole channel is dedicated to, I would say, I can take that back, 80% of this channel is dedicated to the new fly angler. And so check out all the videos on this channel. If it depends on your water, if you're a new angler and my biggest advice to you, before you investing any real money, any real anything, is to learn how to read the water. Learning how to read current for whatever you're fishing is crucial. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I don't know if it's illegal or not to stream while I'm driving, but regardless, you guys just came off my dash. So yeah, learn to read the water, because knowing where fish lie is probably the most important thing, because and you'll hear this the more books you read and everything like that, you'll hear this frequently, is that micro drag, or it's noticing that it's not getting a good look at the fly or anything like that, then it's not going to take. If that fly is in the wrong place, in the wrong part of the water column, then that fish won't take. So knowing where the fish is first and primarily the most important thing. So reading water. Sorry about the exposure, guys. Secondly, I definitely suggest learning proper casting techniques. So learning subtlety in a basic cast, learning how to roll cast, overhand cast is a great first couple steps. Roll cast, overhand cast, and then we can get into more advanced or intermediate techniques like purposefully adding slack, or different types of mend casts and things, and mending in general. But before you can even do that, you need to know where the fish are, you need to know how to find them, and then you need to understand how you need to get yourself in position and be subtle and stealthy and sleuthy, if you will, to find and to hunt down these fish. Then after that, it's all of it, fly selection and all these other, I would say, important, but not quite as important as those first couple things. But good question. Again, check out the channel. I did Orvis 102. Yeah, I love Orvis. They are not an official sponsor, but I do feel confident in saying that I do think that I appreciate what Orvis does for the fly fishing community, and I appreciate what Orvis does for its consumers and customers that come into their stores with those classes. They're free, except the 102 I don't think is free. Is it the one you actually go on the water? But regardless, I highly suggest that when you guys are learning to fish for a new species or fish in general, a new technique even, go to somebody who knows what they're doing, and like a guide or an instructor, and pay for those services, because that's going to provide you with years, maybe, you know, months and months or years of experience, you know, without having to do it all yourself. Let's see, any tips on trout fishing with spinning gear and conventional lures? Yeah, I mean, I typically, buddy, if you're going to use spinning stuff, start small, and if you start small, then you can always work your way up. You want to, when you're searching for fish, you want to know if there are fish there first. And so, wow, it's really bright out. And so, when searching for fish, start small, because then, okay, sorry. So yeah, start small, because if you're catching smaller fish, then typically, okay, you're gonna notice that there are more. Because remember that not 100% of fish don't spread themselves out in 100% of water. What you're gonna do is, let's see, what lures I would suggest, just like I would suggest in, you know, in fly fishing, you're gonna want a variety of stuff. I want like really good like insect-like soft plastics. Okay, like Helgramite patterns and stuff. Guys, I see 4 people watching. There's 0 thumbs up on this video. Come on. Helgramite patterns, grub patterns, and then I guess you can get away with also. I mean, like, I'm not a power bait guy. But I know this like that catches fish. It is, but because I'm a fly angler primarily, I typically don't do. I typically don't do power bait. One really funny video, if you guys ever want to watch this, Hank Patterson is awesome. He's hilarious, and if you go to Hank Patterson's channel, he has a video where it's obviously all comedy. He explains fly fishing to power bait anglers, or to conventional anglers, lure anglers, and it's really funny. You should check it out. It's Hank Patterson. That's his channel, Hank Patterson, Fly Fishing Guide or something like that. But really funny stuff. And obviously, do not take anything he says other than jest. don't use the techniques he demonstrates and stuff, because it's all comedy. It's all funny. But lures, a small inline spinner, hard to beat. You can use some power bait. Yep, rooster tail, panther martins. They're all kind of the classic staples. But if you're in a pressured area, fish are going to see a lot of that. So if you can get away with buying some custom colors and stuff, that might benefit you, or it might be beneficial to you. What else? More tips. Keep moving. Okay. One reason I like to fly fish is because I like to get remote. Okay. Like, I'm going right now to a place that will see, these fish will see 5-10 flies, 5-10 lures a year. They're all mine. They used to see a lot more, but with my new baby, it's difficult. So get room, you know, if you're able to, find some remote locations where the fish don't see. I'm going to film, yes. It's not like it's remote in the mountains. I mean, we are kind of in the mountains, but it's remote like I'm the only one that fishes it. As long as I don't miss my exit here, because I'm chatting with you guys. But I definitely suggest that you guys find, you know, get out there get your boots on the ground and find some new fish. Okay. The thing we always do as anglers is we don't really push out of our comfort zone very often, and that means we never find new fish. You know, just because one week one lure in one spot worked well does not mean that it's going to work again that way. Okay. Remember too that when you're fishing rooster tails and things like that, you are fishing specifically for bigger fish, because you will not see smaller sized trout take aggressively on a bait fish imitation, basically. Can you use bass flies for bass on a spin cast? Can you use flies for bass on a spin? Depends. I mean, I tie, there's one crawl imitation I tie that's really kind of heavy, and you absolutely can. I know I actually have a good buddy that I sent flies to, who has a nice channel, Alex Rudd. He found some success with a crawl imitation drop shotting. So, definitely possible. If you're using a spin gear, like an actual spin rod, a light, like an ultralight, I don't see why a popper wouldn't work. I wouldn't see why. The biggest difference is that the flies that we tie for bass, they're designed to be controlled by the line, not the rod. And with spin gear, you're controlling the lure with the rod. Fly cast now? I'm confused, Sugara. Sorry. Fly. Yeah, I'm going fly fishing right now. In fact, I'm almost there. I'll probably have to cut you guys here. Actually, you know what? No, I'll as long as the connection stays solid, I'll stay with you guys while I get ready. I'll look like a crazy guy if anybody who drives by on the road because they park on the road. But I get Sugara. Which cast? My ass. Which fish? I'm chasing brown trout today. Well, hopefully my videos help you, buddy. Because I definitely, that's the goal of the channel, is to help out anybody who's learning. And hopefully I don't speak too quickly for anybody who is English as an additional language. Hey, Mongolia! Fly fishing in Mongolia. The timing are insane. Anybody wants an underrated trip, I've seen some incredible footage from Mongolia for fly fishing. I'm really interested in these Eastern Asian trips to, like, there are remote areas in, like, in Russia, in Mongolia, in Eastern Europe as well, that are just, it looks incredible. Let's see, I think I have to go this way. Yes. You can tell it's been a while. I also am in an area where my connection's not great, so please be mindful that I you know, if it goes static or it goes out on you guys, that's the reason. I'm not trying to cut you off. I will let you know when I cut you off. Any more questions? Probably, you know, will you film your trip? Yes, of course I'm gonna film my trip. What do you think? Of course I am, Adam. Come on. But yeah, in you know, in all seriousness, yes, I am going to film. I don't have long, although I am able to get out. I do not have long, as I pride myself in trying to be the best father I can be. Many rivers, but yes, I would love to get to Mongolia, because I've seen and heard nothing but incredible stories, and the pictures that I have seen are insane. But we can chat about that at a different time, even. But no, I think that today will be beneficial. Here's the problem: is that the individual who farms the property is not family, and so my wife's grandmother gave permission to fish, gives me permission to fish it, but there are so many fences all around that are electric that I have to find my way in today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to park and put on some waders and boots and I agree with you. And I have to now go and try and find the gates to get to the water. Wow, this looks so different. It used to look so kind of like, almost like a mini Montana. I'm in New York. But it looks completely different. We'll see. But, like I said, hold on. Let me just transfer you guys from one mount to another. take you in the back of the vehicle. How to read the river? Here's the thing. If you're reading the river, first thing you have to realize is this. Is that, like I said a little earlier in this video, fish aren't evenly distributed in the river. There might be 60% of the fish in 30% of the river. Sorry for the shaking. Just spinning you guys on a little mini tripod here. So, if you don't notice that if you notice you're not catching fish right away, first thing I suggest is find seams. Find seams in the water, meaning where two currents run up next to each other. Okay, my eyes are up here. Alright, let's see. I have my bay corner black. I avoid holes typically. Allen waders. Don't let the low cost fool you. These are holding up for me extremely well. Any more questions, guys? Oh, I can keep talking about finding fish. Undercut banks. Undercut banks. Do I need waders? Absolutely not. Depends on where you are, obviously. Like, if it's really cold by you, then I would suggest waders. But if, like the dudes in North Carolina and stuff like that, or down in Tennessee, Texas, they don't necessarily, I don't think, need waders. It's a really nice accessory to have because I can, for example, I've gone fishing right before or right after work in my work clothes. Don't tell my wife. I just threw on waders. Not to mention, it really helps if you're fishing waters that you're not 100% sure are clean. These you can easily spray down and preserve your water. Keep it from keep from contaminating it or getting your seat gross in your car. Best beginner fly rod and reel combo. Let's see. My suggestion for you on rod and reel combo is a couple of options for you. Diamondback rods has a brand new economy rod. Orvis has the Recon. Reddington obviously has their crosswater. I suggest something with a warranty and something in a mid-flex or full flex, unless you're going to be nymphing most often. The reason I say that is because it helps learn your casting, and having the warranty is a nice buffer. Clear water pack is great. Can't remember what the name of the economy rod from Diamondback is, but that's another really great rod made from very similar blanks. Max Catch makes some decent, beginner rods. In fact, if you got one of their premier rods, you're getting a very similar blank. Combo name again? Of which one? There's Orvis, Diamondback Rods has one. I don't know what the name of that starts with a V, I think. Max Catch Fishing has one. They're all gonna catch fish, man. Max Catch, more Reddington. Max Catch has a 2-year warranty, I think, so it's not a lifetime, but it's a nice kind of jumping board for you. I'm trying to think. I'll start with, like I said, where is it? Your advice on Max Catch? What line should you use? Fly line, back and leader? Hey, that's preference. I use whatever I can get my mitts on, and lately, but my favorite that I've ever used, I love my Orvis Super Strong. Orvis Super Strong is my go-to, my preference. Doesn't mean that other than the Umpqua stuff is good too. Trying to think. Rio makes some decent, some good stuff, but I like my Orvis Super Strong because it has one of the strongest knot strengths. Orvis combo good. My budget too expensive. I get it. We've all been there, man. Yeah, check out Max Catch or FishingSir.com also has some. Start with a little bit of this. I like Tightline Video a lot. Not gonna badmouth anybody on my channel. Cheap Orvis. I don't know. I don't know where to buy the cheap Orvis. I only know where I can find the individuals that I affiliate and work with. I'm not saying that you shouldn't work with anyone else. I just don't know. Yeah. Well, anytime you're gonna go through those guys, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay for convenience, you know. Let's see. I'm gonna go with what I said earlier. Go with an emerger. Check Nymph and Adams. I'm right now using a buzzer for the highest. You can use an emerger as the highest nymph in your rig. I don't know what you guys are saying. Sorry. Then I'll go with one of these right here. Segura, what do you need, buddy? What's your question? I'm confused. I'll send you more advice. I just don't know what your question is. Sugara. Alright guys, I'm going to cut the stream. Thank you for checking in with me this morning. I appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up, like the other videos in the playlist, subscribe to the channel, share it with others please. Catch you guys on the flip side. Tight lines.